Leonard worked alone in his candle-lit tailor shop, surrounded by bolts of faded satin and forgotten dreams. The air was thick with dust and the smell of melted wax. He'd grown used to silence, until a sealed envelope slid under his door that night. No sender, no payment, just a simple request. A wedding gown, finished by dawn. He unfolded the attached fabric, smooth as breath, silver white under the flickering flame. Alongside it, a spool of shimmering thread glinted with a metallic hue. He frowned. No merchant he knew carried such material. Still, orders meant rent, and he couldn't afford to question fortune, however strange its form. As the clock struck 11, Leonard prepared his tools. The thread was oddly warm between his fingers, humming faintly, almost alive. Each pull through the fabric sent a small pulse up his wrist. He muttered to himself, "You're tired, that's all." But deep down, he knew exhaustion had never felt like this. The fabric seemed to guide him, shaping itself. The bodice curved elegantly, the sleeves fluttered like wings, and the skirt expanded in perfect flow. Yet, Leonard couldn't remember sketching this pattern. It was as if unseen hands directed him, every movement delicate, graceful, feminine. He wiped sweat from his brow and glanced toward the mirror. For a split second, his reflection wasn't his. A woman's outline shimmered beside him, a faint image with eyes that carried centuries of grief. Leonard stumbled back, breath shallow, but when he looked again, she was gone. The clock ticked louder. The whisper of fabric brushing across the table grew rhythmic, almost like breathing. "Perfect," a soft voice murmured near his ear. Leonard froze, his throat tightened. "Who's there?" he whispered. Silence. Only the silver thread glowed faintly, answering with a heartbeat. He tried to continue working, though his hands shook uncontrollably. The moment he stopped sewing, the air grew heavier, colder. "Finish what you started," the unseen voice insisted, tender yet commanding. Leonard, terrified yet compelled, returned to the gown, feeling each stitch draw him deeper into her world. When he finally paused to stretch, the gown seemed alive, almost breathing, its shape curved like a body waiting to be filled. "Beautiful," he whispered despite his fear. The mirror caught his reflection again, his lips moving, but the voice he heard was not his own. A woman's whisper echoed his words. His palms were pale now, softer. He rubbed them hard, skin prickling like static. The silver thread had looped around his wrist, almost tenderly, refusing to let go. He pulled at it. His skin stung. Tiny silver veins shimmered beneath his surface, pulsing faintly in rhythm with his heartbeat. Rain began outside, tapping the windows like impatient fingers. Through the fogged glass, Leonard saw a shadowy figure, a veiled woman standing across the street. Her gown fluttered though no wind blew. Their eyes met through the glass, and for the first time he felt warmth rather than fear. The candle dimmed. Leonard returned to his stool, unable to resist the compulsion to finish the gown. He sewed for hours, tears blurring his vision. "It's not madness," he whispered. "It's art." Yet with each stitch, his breathing grew shallower, his pulse faster. Something within him was unraveling. The final stitch shimmered like lightning. The thread tightened around his hands, pulling him forward. The gown rose from the table, wrapping around his shoulders with the gentleness of a lover's embrace. He wanted to scream, but the fabric silenced him, pressing against his heart. A warmth blossomed across his chest, then spread downward, reshaping his frame. His ribs softened, his waist cinched inward. He gasped as his heartbeat changed, faster yet lighter, fluttering with life. "Please," he murmured, unsure if he wanted it to stop or continue. The silver thread whispered, "Become." His reflection in the mirror blurred and then focused again, his jawline delicate, lips fuller, eyes wide and glassy. His voice cracked as he called out, "Who are you?" But the sound that escaped was soft, melodic, and heartbreakingly beautiful. He clutched the gown closer, trembling between terror and awe. His body moved on its own, graceful, fluid. The gown molded to him perfectly, hugging every curve that hadn't existed moments ago. He stared at his reflection. Long, dark hair framed his face, cascading over bare shoulders. Leonard was gone. In his place stood a woman in pure light, Memories not his own began to flow, dancing in candlelight. Laughter, a kiss before a mirror. A name floated through the haze, Liana. He felt her sorrow, her unfinished vows, her final breath sewn into every stitch. Tears spilled down his cheeks as her love and pain became his own. The air softened. Liana, now fully awake within her new reflection, smiled faintly, touching her chest. The heartbeat she felt was both hers and Leonard's, fused forever. "Thank you," she whispered to the empty room. Her voice was pure melody, echoing like silk brushing skin. Morning light poured through the windows, scattering across the floorboards. Liana stood, her bare feet delicate yet sure. She moved gracefully, collecting the fallen spools, her every step a dance. There was no fear now, only peace, and a strange acceptance of the woman she had become. Across the street, a florist named Evelyn arranged her morning display. She noticed the tailor's sign had changed overnight. Liana's bridal atelier. Curious, she peered through the glass and saw a young woman sewing at the counter, her face serene, her fingers glowing faintly silver. Evelyn smiled softly, admiring the woman's craft from afar. "New tailor," she murmured, unaware that the gentle hum she heard wasn't from the sewing machine, but from the silver thread itself, singing quietly with life, satisfied that its promise had been fulfilled. That evening, Liana stitched a new gown, humming the same tune that once haunted Leonard. She worked calmly, lovingly, guiding each thread with care. "Creation is transformation," she whispered, "and every stitch holds a soul." Her reflection smiled back, finally complete. Outside, the wind carried her laughter through the quiet streets. Soft, feminine, eternal. Inside the atelier, the silver thread rested on the table, shimmering faintly as if breathing. And though the old tailor was never seen again, his spirit lived on, woven beautifully into her. In the days that followed, the townsfolk spoke of a new dressmaker who appeared overnight, a graceful young woman with eyes that shimmered like candlelight on silk. She introduced herself as Evelina, her voice soft yet steady, carrying echoes of someone they once knew. Each gown she crafted seemed alive, stitched with devotion and warmth, as if the thread itself held a heartbeat. None suspected that every stitch was guided by two souls, one reborn within the other. Late at night, Evelina would sit by the same candlelit desk where Arthur once worked, her fingers tracing the silver thread that never dulled. Sometimes she swore she could feel his calm guidance in her hands, teaching her patience, precision, and love for creation. When she smiled at her reflection in the old mirror, it was not loneliness she saw, it was union. The tailor's dream and the bride's spirit had become one seamless masterpiece. Years passed, and Evelina's atelier became legend. Brides came from distant towns, believing her gowns carried blessings of beauty and truth. No one ever knew the story behind her knowing smile, nor why the silver thread glowed when she sewed. But on quiet nights, when moonlight brushed the shop window, a man's whisper could be heard in the rustling fabric. A promise fulfilled, a soul content, forever woven into the woman he became. Hey friends, thanks for watching. Love this story? Get early access to upcoming stories and bonus content on my Patreon. Your support means the world to me. Links below.